Ringing up Mr. Browell.
This is the Vodafone voicemail service for 07762472196. Please leave a message after the tone. When you finish recording, please hang up or press the hash key for more options.
Oh, yes, hello, Mr. Browell. It's Mr. Hussein here once again, leaving yourself a daily voice message asking you to engage with us or let me at least know the whereabouts or well being of my brother Talib Hussein. Today is the 17th of October 2023, and the time is around about midday. As usual, I'm leaving yourself a message to engage with me, considering the fact that I never stopped engaging with you, with any of your representatives, you or your representatives, when you wanted to know about Talib in the community. Obviously, now upon reflection, it seems that you have been monitoring both me and Talib in order to facilitate a relationship breakdown by removing finances, by sabotaging our relationship, my brother's relationship with his GP practice, sabotaging my relationship with my brother, all under manipulation and control ever since he was discharged back into my care in December 2018. Now, as you're fully aware, Mr. Browell, that today there's a court hearing listed where my brother is a second defendant, and yet you have him in your control and custody. I have no idea how he's being represented in these proceedings, and you were advised fully on previous occasions that these ongoing proceedings with the housing association, and that it was incumbent upon yourself as being his quote unquote financial deputies, or taking an interest in Talib's welfare, that you need to become joint parties in these proceedings. But you chosen deliberately to stay back, to inculcate to diminish your guilt and malevolence as the local authority, because you are not party to these proceedings, because you already have a representative in these proceedings, and that representative is the local authority, no, sorry, is the housing association, whom you are commissioning to railroad this case through. Now, if you recall, Mr. Browell, when we initially moved here in February 2022, there was a housing association had contacted you to once again raise a false flag safeguarding alert. If you recall, I do remember discussing this with you, that in February the housing association, Manningham Housing, had contacted you in order to circumvent our stay here by raising a false flag safeguarding alert, no doubt under instructions from your higher seniors to the housing association to contact you in order to facilitate a welfare check. And if you do recall, you had responded at the time that you, the local authority, have no concerns at the time. Hence, the matter was dissipated. So the housing association urgently got their solicitors involved under your direction, because there had been a substantial theft from the property in the tune of millions. And as a result of this, the housing association were desperate, instructed solicitors stating that me and my brother are trespassing, which is obviously found to be unjustifiable. And then subsequently in February, they had contacted you, and you had refused to state that there's any concerns. Then subsequently they contacted you again in October, after having ensured that the second claim is being pursued, and they had managed to get a penal notice to get a gas safety inspection. And once again, you were advised that there's a welfare concern from the Manningham Housing Association regarding my brother Talib, to target him. And you had come down, if you recall, on the 14th of October last year, or on Friday, and left me a message. When I spoke to you the following week, you had advised me on what happened. This was a clear false flag event. And then subsequently in November, I made you fully aware that there was a final hearing taking place, and no doubt at the final hearing, which I had concerns that you had commissioned the judges. The judge, no doubt, did not fail to contact yourselves in the background, trying to find out regarding the ongoing at the time court protection proceedings, and also instructed us at a final hearing to get a capacity assessment carried out. That was clearly under your instructions as a local authority. And now we're once again in court in 2 hours' time, under a situation that's going to be detrimental to my best interest, as you've taken away my brother. Now, it's been 70 days, Mr. Browell. As a local authority, you know there is no legal basis for you to do any of this stuff. My brother has said to you consistently over and over again that leave me alone, don't harass me, I'm happy where I am, I don't want to involvement of professionals, I want my brother Shazad to care for me, I want my brother Shazad to take care of my money, and it's simply something that you cannot accept, and you're trying to forcibly make him a ward of the state. No doubt he's mentally deteriorated, being in the absence of any family or loving, caring family members, as you must have now held him in captivity, and are drugging him up with medication that he does not need, that further debilitates him. I'm surprised he's not died by now, but you obviously are trying to give him a slow death whilst these court proceedings are underway. Why have you not joined the party in these proceedings so I could ask you these questions directly, and the courts could ask you these questions directly of what state is my brother in? But the reason that you're not doing this is because it's all malevolent and fraud. You've made District Judge Wilcox a judge in order to railroad your agenda and narrative through. And once again, I'm distressed because you're effectively making me...
15 seconds recording time remaining.
Yeah, you're once again looking to make me homeless, as you have done previously. You're looking to target and victimize me selectively. And as a consequence, my brother Talib is in a state of where his rights are being denied to him and suffering. This is not acceptable, Mr. Browell, and you know it. So I urge the council to fully engage with me to let me know where my brother is.
Your recording time has expired. To leave your message, press 1. To review message, press 2. Message sent. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
So they're fully aware of this court hearing that's going to take place in 2 hours' time now. That's going to be clearly detrimental to my interest, where the judge is simply going to railroad something through that's been privately commissioned by the Bradford Council. There's nothing I can do about it. The judge is not going to listen to anything I say as a litigant in person. They've got solicitors, they've got barristers, they've got everything geared to their best interest. This is a continuation of their failed attempt last year on November the 30th last year in 2022, when they had failed in that attempt to make us homeless. And that's just a continuation of previous failed attempts. They tried to raise a false flag, welfare concern through the Housing Association in October the 12th. That failed. Previously, as I mentioned, there were several attempts previously, and primarily like in September they got my niece Shagufta to try to raise a false flag safeguarding alert. But initially the Housing Association, working very closely with Bradford Council, looked to initially raise a welfare concern in February, and Christopher Browell had stated at the time that he's not got any concerns, so hence we were allowed to stay there. Otherwise, they could have kidnapped my brother, in February. They could have done that then. There's nothing specific about why they've done it in August now. Nobody's raised a welfare concern. It's simply because of these court proceedings. Now, if they are representing my brother, as they state that they are representing my brother, then why have they not made themselves parties in these proceedings? If he does have a financial deputy, surely that's the role of the financial deputy, to ensure that Talib's financial well-being is maintained. And the reason that they've not done this is primarily because they're all working together, and they're taking a step back and fronting the Housing Association. So any blame and criticism is going to be directed at them, and any actions I take against the Housing Association, they're in the background manipulating and undermining and sabotaging any efforts I make through the court system by pulling the strings in the background. So that's how the local authority likes to work. They like to sit in the back, pulling the strings, buying off the judiciary and the judges, whilst fronting other people. In this case, it's the Manningham Housing Association, and they're fronting the Judge Wilcox, and the court system, all fraudulent and deceptive. And here I am expected to go through these kangaroo court hearings, which are clearly designed for my detriment, and nothing I can say in court has any value or any weighting, because anything that I do, any legal argument that I make, or anything that has any value, is simply there by the judge to disregard. That's the purpose of the judge, to disregard my argument and to railroad an agenda that's ultimately to me and my brother's detriment, and it's going to end up killing him, as they have killed my mother previously. This is simply